Alright guys, this video's going to skip a little ahead of what I wanted to do, but just because I'm doing this today, I went ahead and filmed it. I will do a fall plans video to cover what I intend to do this year. This is just the very beginning of it, and basically what I'm doing is prepping the field not only for hunting, but telegraphing where I want deer to go. Now, as far as safety is concerned, I do not shoot up into this area, period. Because the neighbor's line is right here. And because I know the pattern of our deer, they come out right there a lot. So I'm catching them with the camera, and by putting the cut in front of the camera here, I'm going to have more deer activity walking across that camera, and I'm more likely to catch deer that I may have missed if I had started making the corner over here. So this helps me keep my camera more active. I can catch more deer because they want the easiest path as possible. And you can see this stuff is just jungle thick. This is not the quality of hay that I give people, period. My first cut is my only cut, and I have extremely little Johnson grass, which is what all this big nasty is. As far as feeding deer, this is a no-go when it comes to Johnson grass. They hate it. Cattle will tend to eat it as long as it's not headed out. One other method is to run a bush hog over it in a windrow and chop it a bit, and then the cattle can eat it that way. But this grass serves no purpose other than cover and bedding. So if I literally walked into this, I can easily disappear and you won't find me. That's the whole purpose of this, is to protect my fawns and to provide cover to these big boys. So anytime I've gotten older deer, most of the time I can catch them out here, and maybe 30% of the time I might see them up here in the woods, depending on where they come off the ridge at. But a lot of times they will use this area as a staging area for fights, bedding, and feeding when they go make trips to the food plot. Every now and then I will take a strip and run a dog leg straight into the plot, and that will get heavily used from time to time. Some years it's really not as much, because I got one more strip to create, and it's a runway that's going to be right in front of the shooting table over here. So you're looking at a 400-yard shot if I shoot any deer back up this way. The last deer I shot, or the longest shot I've taken so far, is about where this clump is right here, but go this way 40 yards. And that's where I killed a 6-pointer that I thought was an 8, and my eyes were all watered up, and I made a mistake and shot a deer that I needed to live another year. So that's my fault. But the big wide 7 that I shot, he was right over here, bedded down. You never would have seen him. And the first thing he did when that doe come out with him, come right up the runway, heading straight to the food plot. And I was laying right up here on my belly waiting on that deer. And I shot and killed him right about in here. It's like a 124-yard shot with the muzzle loader, and dropped him. If it wasn't for that runway, that never would have happened. But I'm telegraphing where I want deer to go. There's also, well, before I walk away from this, there's also these open pockets right here throughout the field that deer absolutely love. These open pockets. These briars are extremely heavily browsed on. It actually looks like I took the bush hog across the top of it and cut them back, but that's actually pure deer browse. And you can see the protein level. Remember, leaf color, protein level looks very good in these briars, because I started doing a cycle of rotting in here, and it's really stimulated some bacteria. Same thing here. This is going to be another rotting strip for this year. But there's plenty of perfect places to hide. There's another patch over here that varies in size and shape from year to year, but I always find evidence of bucks fighting over here, and I've actually found one of our does that was shot and wounded because I knew it come from over here off of this farm over here, and I had watched it go across the field limping really bad, and then it got right over here and never came out. And I went back 3 days later and found her laying within maybe 10 yards of where I last saw her. Got rid of her, cleaned her up, got her out of there so I wouldn't attract more coyotes than I needed. And then 3 days later, bucks were fighting in that same spot. So this type of cover here really helps me out when it comes to drawing deer in. I think this is an excellent way to up my success odds of at least seeing a deer. You know, shooting is a various skill depending on how well you can shoot. Yeah, right here it is. There's that thin, it kind of makes a splotchy circle right here with a thick middle. And these deer love this spot right here because as soon as you get out of this spot, it gets really thick all the way down to the corner right there. Same here. There's these little tucked in coves that deer can use and lay down. Matter of fact, right here is a deer bed. That's one of our does most likely. But this little tucked in area, deer bed. They love these little open pockets like that because deer don't want, you know, constantly having something blow around in their face. And if it is really cold, this Johnson grass can help break up some of the nasty winds we get during the winter. Because if you get up to a 20+ mile an hour wind and the high is 10 degrees, it's going to suck. Out here, it may feel like a 10 mile an hour wind and 40 degrees because it's just, the wind's not blowing nearly as hard. Here's another great area. Deer love being in here. I've spotted them several times already here, and they kind of meander back toward the fence. I'm pretty positive that there's at least 1 or 2 fawns that stay bedded over here, and I'm not walking over there to force that issue, but there is a really, really thick patch of that stuff that you could disappear in it very easily, much like you can up here at the top. So the next path I'm going to create is the runway, and that will tie in right over here to the food plot. And this one is 1.5 passes wide. So my runway strip will either be 2 to 3 passes wide. That way we have extra shooting distance or abilities when those deer cross out into those open spots. So there you go, guys. This is part of my fall preparation. I know some of you have requested my sow ratios for the fall and winter. When I do the fall plan or fall planning video for you, I will show you the ratios that I intend to use and how I modify my mixes to suit maybe more of what I want in my plots. So if you're interested in that, stick around for the next video. But this is literally step 1 into getting my hunting property ready to go for the muzzle loader and rifle, because I do not archery hunt. All right, guys, I hope you find this informative and helpful. I'm making cover, got some pockets of food in here, wind resistance. This helps draw in these bigger deer, especially those 3 and 4 and 5-year-old bucks that are so hard to get around here with this many people that's moved in. You all have a great day.